Welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm Mayor Diane Jones, your host. And this week we have Barbie Hart and Susie Beach, and they're from a couple of organizations. Really one organization, but under two umbrellas, or one umbrella, two organizations. So, first we have the Verde River Valley Nature Organization, and for short, we all call that VRVNO. So throughout the show, when you hear VRVNO, remember it's the Verde River Valley Nature Organization. And then we also are going to be talking about the Verde Valley Birding and Nature Festival. And this is how many years this year?
15 years.
15 years that we have been hosting the Verde Valley Birding and Nature Festival in the Verde Valley. So tell me a little bit about each of you, kind of a little bit about anything you want to share about yourselves that might be interesting to someone who doesn't know you.
Well, I'm Barbie Hart, and I started out my career as a park ranger for the Arizona State Parks. And during that occupation, I created the Verde Valley Birding Nature Festival as one of the special events for Dead Horse Ranch State Park. Okay. And it has just blossomed ever since then.
It has. It brings people from all over the world, really. So, and Susie, a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm Susie Beach. My husband and I moved here 20 years ago, and we're professional photographers, and I got involved. I was on the chamber board, and Barbie came to the chamber and said, we'd like to partner for a festival, and so I'm the one that hopped in and have been with it as well for 15 years.
So you two pretty much work together. You're like her assistant for the birding festival.
What do you need, Barbie? I'll try and do it.
And she does. She's wonderful.
This program rocks on volunteers.
Yes.
So if someone would like to help you, always need volunteers. How would they volunteer to help with the birding festival?
Well, we have a website, which is birdyverde.org, www.
And that's BIRDYVERDE.
Yeah, right.
.org.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's that's where we go. We're right now busy setting up a means for them to actually register on that system, but it hasn't. Just contact us somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll get you on that list.
We have phone numbers and all kinds of information, and just put Verde Valley Birding Festival in Google, and you'll be able to find that website because it's been around for a long time. So first we're going to talk with Susie a little bit about the Verde River Valley Nature Organization, or VRVNO as we call
Good
it.
job.
And VRVNO.
Okay.
What do you do? What is that about?
All righty. Well, basically the birding festival had been functioning for about 12 years, and and was being assisted through for financial ends, whatever, by the Cottonwood Chamber. They were handling all the finances for us because they helped us get it going in the beginning. And then in 12, they said, you know what, you guys would probably be able to get grants and everything else if you'd branch out on your own. So a group of 7 of us got together and we hammered out for like 5 months all that we needed to do to apply for a 501c3. And so we became our own entity, and so it's the umbrella of a number of different events, such as the Birding Festival and the Verde River Runoff that ends up in May. We sponsor a day at the SciTech Festival. We have a, okay, what was the other thing? I'm trying to think, whatever.
Riverfest.
Riverfest, okay. We're a whole month of April kind of surrounding all the things that are happening with Riverfest. We're trying to get that up off the ground and having things related to the river happening under the umbrella of VRVNO.
And I know you asked me to serve on your board, and I've been trying.
You have been very good. You've been very good. You hung in there with us. Thank you.
With my schedule, it's been difficult because I tell you what, you guys are busy. You are like constantly doing, and it just amazes me on how much you do and how much of your own time you volunteer, and how it even impacts your family life because you are so busy giving to the community. So
our boys understand for the most part. Our men in our life understand.
Our mission is actually, to get people involved in our wonderful natural resources we have here, because by getting involved, getting excited about it, having great experiences in the outdoors, then you embrace it and you help to maintain it and take care of it.
Absolutely.
And that's our final bottom line. We want people to really appreciate the natural world that we're sharing.
And did you have a mission statement that you wanted to
Yes,
share?
I should have had this memorized by now, but it evades me. So, provides recreational, educational, and nature tourism opportunities that support stewardship of the Verde River Valley.
All right. Excellent. So you've already talked about your programs, and then I was just going to, you recently started some collaborations with the Walton Family Foundation, and right now you're going through a strategic planning exercise, which is really
Correct.
taking a lot of time. But what is your goal with that partnership?
Well, I think the Walton Family Foundation wanted to help what we were doing because they love the Verde River, they love the Birding Festival, and they wanted more of those kind of things here. So they financed a bit of those events, extra things above and beyond what we could normally afford to support that. We were able to hire a wonderful young woman by the name of Wendy Harford to be our director for the VRVNO, Verde River Valley Nature Organization. And they've enabled us to help step up, become more of a sustainable. They're trying to make us sustainable and find the resources to help us keep going.
Yeah, because they are a nonprofit, and even though there are charges, fees connected with some of our events and activities, that barely covers our costs.
Absolutely, we know how that goes. So we did have some photos that we wanted to share, and we have the Verde River Day Weekend Fun Float.
That happens the day after Verde River Day. We decided to tack on something else. We started the Verde River in Dead Horse. They help support and sponsor that as well.
Yes, the state parks.
Then we float down, and it gives people, it's only meant for first-time boaters, people who've not been a part of it before, so that they can get the experience, have the fun of it, maybe want to come back, maybe go buy a kayak, enjoy some of those things.
That's great, and we do thank you for mentioning the Arizona State Parks, because it really is a collaborative relationship, and George Christensen, the Dead Horse Ranch State Park manager, and Max Castillo from the Verde River Greenway are amazing people that give so much to the community and are such great partners in these kinds of efforts.
Wouldn't happen without them.
And we couldn't do it without them. Absolutely. So we do want to say thank you to them. And then we have another photo, which is it's about the graduates from our first Birding 101.
Last spring we had a Birding 101. It was kind of a nippy morning, but we were down at the new area down in Verde Village 4. I don't know what it's actually called, but we went down and birded there and had a great time. And they also had classroom. They had an evening or a day of classroom stuff. And then we had another one this past fall. So it helps people get introduced to birding and all the fun and being able to get outdoor and recognize them, and by hearing them, by seeing them. So.
Great, and then we have a photo from the SciTech Festival.
Oh, that's exciting and dear to all of our hearts. Thank you to Mayor Jones for having spearheaded that whole effort. But we've jumped on board, and we have a whole day of science. We need to introduce young people, outdoor science, children to, and even their adults, hopefully as well, to learning about how science is so much a part of our daily living. And we're all very excited about it, and we're coming up to our second annual one, and we're going to be on board there with a better program than ever.
I think it was great last year, and we have the SciTech Festival emblem up there. And if anybody would like to learn about the SciTech Festival, they can go to vvscitech.org and learn about that. It's coming up the last week of March 21st through the 29th, and we want the whole community to be involved.
You bet.
And then we have the graduations from the Fall Birding 101.
That was the second one. I mentioned that earlier, but it was our second time out.
Okay.
Went very well.
All right, fantastic. So right now it's already time to break, so we will be right back.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
At Gettles High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettles starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate-challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettles High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm Mayor Diane Jones, your host, with Barbie Hart and Susie Beach today. Next, we're going to talk about the Verde Valley Birding and Nature Festival. 15 years now that Barbie's been working on this, and hours and hours out of your life, I know. But let's talk a little bit about when is the birding festival, first of all? When can people expect it?
The last full weekend in April. And so this year the dates are the 23rd through the 26th. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a 4-day event. Field trips going out every day. Registration has begun. It began on February 1st. And unfortunately, some of the really popular trips are already full. But that doesn't mean there's still not room in other trips. So they
usually like fill up, what, the first day or two?
The first hour or two.
Hour or two of registration.
The canoe trip is one of them.
Yeah, they're very popular. And what we do is we provide transportation to these wonderful birding sites along with a great guide. And it's a great way for people to with like interest, birding in this case, to get together with experts and really enjoy the craft.
Great, and the headquarters is Dead Horse Ranch State Park.
That's right. We hope that's our site. We have walks within the park because, boy, that's a great birding spot any time of the year. Of course, we do it in April because that's when the spring migration is, and so that's when we see the most variety of birds.
So how many bird species have you seen during the festival?
About 180.
Okay.
Some years more, some years less, but that's about how many different species we usually see. And again, this is just the spring migration. In the fall, we could add to that. But
if you had another festival in the fall.
Oh, don't ask.
We've talked about having just a day-long one.
And VRVNO might be out taking that.
Might do that. That would be great. All in all, doesn't the Verde River have like 360 different species of birds
like say,
throughout the year?
Throughout the year. That's the difference in the numbers that you see.
And it's a pretty, I mean, we have the San Pedro River that has a lot of, birding and birds, but I think the Verde River is really one of the places that birds, when they're migrating, they stop in.
Absolutely, right. We have, and what's really nice about our event too is we're located here centrally in the Verde Valley, and it's a really close hop to get up to the pine trees on Mingus Mountain, to go up to the wetlands up in the Flagstaff area. So we branch out, we go over to other places, but there's such a variety of habitats.
So much diversity
right here.
Right here, that you don't have to go for more than an hour to see.
And that's why this year our I want to say our motto or our theme is desert personalities, because we usually focus on mostly the riparian species, but we forget that we just can step outside of the riparian area and see species that you'd have to go to the lower desert to see.
Right, or even if you go a little ways up on Mingus Mountain, you can see different kinds of birds.
That's right. And we have people coming from all over the country, and these birds that we see every day, like our quail and our roadrunner and our cactus wren, we kind of take for granted, yes, but to them, it's a species they've never seen before, so they are really excited this year. Matter of fact, our registration already is up from last year.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit. Every year you have something special, and you invite someone famous in, as far as birding goes, into the Verde Valley, and you call that your keynote speaker.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about your keynote speaker this year?
This year we have John James Audubon. Well, actually, he is a impersonator. His name is Brian Fox Ellis is his nickname, and he takes on the persona. And so what's really exciting is not only is he going to be doing a keynote talk, but he's also going to be going on one of our birding trips. And he actually
lead a trip.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Well, he's not a birder himself, believe it or not.
You're kidding.
But he's like I said, he's a impersonator, and but he knows all about him. So it's a Chautauqua type of a program where he actually takes on the persona, and you think you're actually talking to Audubon. And we think of Audubon as the Audubon Society, but that man actually did some wonderful things, and he was instrumental in documenting birds and species. He was one of the first to do that. And so he's been the basis for the birding society in America.
Fantastic.
And so we're going to be learning a lot about the man.
And so you can attend that. I mean, you can attend just the keynote
Yes,
speech.
usually you have to register for the event in order to go on any of the field trips.
Okay.
But to go to the keynote talk itself, which is on the Friday night, you can get tickets ahead of time or at the door, and it's what we call. We give desserts, so it starts at, I believe, at 6:30.
Okay, and it's at the city of Cottonwood is co-sponsoring at the rec center.
At the rec center, in that beautiful room that we have there, and we usually fill that up. We offer desserts, so go out to dinner or some of our wonderful restaurants we have in town, and then we invite our guests to do that, and then come over and enjoy the program.
Great, and here is the program. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, this is our booklet, in which we have listed all of the different events, the different field trips with a description and how to, and inside of it is also a page that you can fill in to register. But we always recommend going to our website to register because it's in real time. You can see what actually is still available.
Right, okay.
And so, this has all the information that's in the booklet is also on our website.
Great, so if someone didn't get the booklet, they can get on VRVNO.org and they can get that information.
Right. I believe the Chamber has some, if they want to stop by the Chamber and pick some up as well.
Okay, so it's time for another break, and we will be right back.
At Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettle's starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm Mayor Diane Jones, your host, with Barbie Hart and Susie Beach. Let's talk a little bit about scholarships. This is something new this year?
Absolutely. We're so excited about it. Every year we do sponsor field trips for our school students, our elementary school
students. And you're very child-oriented or youth-oriented.
Absolutely.
Education.
That's where the basis, get the child in the woods, get them excited about nature. And so, and they'll bring the rest of the family with them.
Right.
But this year, like I said, we've always sponsored field trips, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we also have a raffle, and we're also always looking for raffle items to raffle off at the event. And all that money always goes to help sponsor these kids' programs. Well, this last year, we did the best we've ever done on our raffle, and so we looked at that and we said, wow, what can we do with this money for the teenagers? Because the teenagers always seem to be neglected,
That's true.
It seems like we offer a lot of things for the adults and we offer a lot of things for the young kids. But that's a tough age. And that's also an age where kids start really developing their lifelong habits. It just so happens that the American Birding Association, which is a nationwide birding association, offers a summer camp, and it's very expensive for most students to be able to go to. And so we decided to offer a scholarship.
Great.
So it's a one-week camp up in Colorado, and it is for the teen who is really interested in birding already. It's not a beginning birding class to teach them about birding. It's the kids that already have this interest. So we're hoping the younger kids will get to spark the interest by the time they're between the ages of 14 and 18. That's the age group for this camp.
Okay.
We've purchased the week, which was almost $1,200 for the week to go. It includes all their food, and then also we're also added to that the cost of a flight up there. So the parent has to agree to allow their child to go to this camp and put them on a plane, but it includes all their food, includes the camp, includes all their instruction. They pick the kids up at the airport. They take them directly to the camp. This camp usually sells out in a matter of weeks.
Wow, it sounds exciting. I mean,
so I had to be right on
we
board.
We can't go, Diane. We can't go.
I want to go.
I wish I had 18 again so I could go again. But it sounds like a wonderful camp. I've heard wonderful reviews. And like I said, it usually sells out. We were able to reserve our spot. So right now, if a student is interested in this, they need to go to our website, download our application. We asked the student to give us, 3 examples of their leadership and things that they're been involved in. We want to know what kind of personality they are. Write a short essay. Why do they want to go to this camp? We would like them, of course, to attend the festival and share with everybody their of course they won't have had the experience. The camp is in July. It's July 6th through the 12th. So that the student has to be able to go that week. And like I said, they have to have their parents' permission to do that. When we receive all this, we're going to be judging it. We're going to choose, and I'm sure it's going to be a hard thing to do, to choose which student will get the scholarship this year. Hopefully we'll be able to do this every year, so long as that camp is available.
Well, that's very exciting. So check the website, www.birdieverdi.org, for an application for that scholarship, if you're interested or if your teen is interested. So that's another exciting new thing this year. What about the school program?
Yes, as I mentioned before, we sponsor having classes come to the park, and that's usually done on the Thursday, the opening day of the event. All the schools, of course, would like to send all their classes that they possibly could. So we started several years ago to select a class every year by having that classroom teacher send us in their students' essays. We have had in the past poster contests and essay contests. This year we are trying something a little different. We're asking the entire class, to work on a poster with the focus of our desert personalities, with flip-ups that they could put on this chart and open up. In other words, they want them to illustrate the bird or the desert animal, have a little bit of natural history about that animal, research that they've done, and so when you'd open up the flap, there you'd see what
history about
interesting
the image on the front
about the animals. So it's kind of. It'll be fun for the classrooms.
That really goes with your theme.
We'll have wonderful things.
Personality.
Yeah, and we'll have wonderful things to display at the event. People can come by and see all these wonderful posters, and then the winning class, of course, gets to come. And this year, as they did last year as well, we had a sponsor from the Verdi Center. What is the name of her organization?
GCRD?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually sponsoring the lunch. So the kids also get lunch. They get a pizza lunch along with their field trip.
All right. So that's lots of things for kids to do. Then Saturday mornings, do you have activities?
Family Fun Day.
That's the Family Fun Day, yes. And this is open to the general public. Again, we want to get people who have never gotten interested in birding before to see what it's all about. It's the #2 recreational hobby in the United States, and it's the fastest growing one. And that's because you can bird anywhere.
Doesn't cost anything.
Even in your backyard, right?
Right.
Oh, I do it all the time.
And any time of the year. And like I said, you could live in the city, you can live in the country. There's so, you know, when I was a kid, I loved horses, but I was a city kid. I couldn't have a horse. Well, birds are around you all the time, all the place.
That's true.
And so, these kids, they're just like sponges, of course, and when they get excited about something, they're going to really take it to heart. And hopefully, like I said, it's a wonderful, lifelong hobby. So, and you can have any level of expertise. It can be in your backyard, as you mentioned, or people go to exotic places all over the world to look at birds.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, whatever level you want to be, you can do that. So to get the kids and the families to the park so they can actually see what's going on, we got fun games and activities for the kids to do, and everything's free. They can get into the park free so long as they're coming to that event.
Okay.
It doesn't let them into the park free to go fishing or any of the other things, but it gets them free into our area, which is the River Day Use area over there at the park.
So that's the first right.
That's the
when
first
you come
right.
into Dead Horse.
Just past the dump station.
Just past the dump station is the first right. Right. And you go down there and you'll see our big tents that we put up. And like I said, activities for the kids. We also beginning bird walks for our adults. They kind of like go in series. You know, every half hour or so, they take a group of people out so that the adults can get experience while the kids are playing and having fun. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we have a special beginning birding class just for the kids, where they go and they get the basics, how to use the binoculars and what to look for, how to act. You know, because when you're out birding, you have to be quiet.
Right.
And so they go over all that with them, and then they actually take them out and had the experience of birding in the group.
And you always see birds?
Always see birds.
You can't go
Fantastic.
through Dead Horse without seeing
a bird.
A quick little story. Last year on Saturday Fun Day, unfortunately it was a very rainy day, and we usually have more than 100 kids there. We had 10 kids because of the bad weather. And our field trips, we still go out on the field trips. The birds are there, rain or shine. One group went up to Flagstaff, and it was snowing that day. They saw more birds than they have ever seen on that particular trip.
Amazing.
Because bad weather actually brings the birds down, and so they can actually see them.
That's amazing.
71 birds.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 71 birds on one trip.
That is
like a record.
Exciting.
It was very exciting. They come back. I said, "Oh my gosh, we were so worried about you driving up there in the snow," and they said, "It was wonderful." So you
With the
never
exception of
know.
one.
And you can even actually probably the contrast of snow with the color of the
See them
bird,
easier.
or even a blackbird.
I guess there was a meadow.
gray
They
bird.
talked about a meadow that they came back by, and they stopped along the highway someplace to look at this meadow, and I guess it was just filled with birds. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
All weather. It's an all-weather event.
We're just close to running out of time, but we still want to talk about the birding trail. It's kind of a hot spot, I guess. So tell us a little bit about the birding trail.
Well, because of the formation of VRVNO and the money that we got from the Walton family, we were able to produce this Verde River Trail. And what this is, birding trail, what this is a map of all the birding hot spots in our area. So if you could pick one of these up, and we have them, I believe, at the chamber again.
Yes.
And of course, if you contact us, we can get one to you. We're getting ready to do our third printing of this because
It's so
been so popular. Right. And inside you're going to find a map. You'll find a description of all the birding hotspots, places
for Central Arizona.
For mostly the Verde Valley. There's a couple spots outside of the Verde Valley, but most of them are right here in the Verde Valley.
How many did we print? Do you remember?
Oh, a couple thousand.
At least, I think it was 5,000.
So it's been extremely popular.
Yes, it has been. So
people come into the chamber and they say they're birders. They see something that indicates we're a birding community, and they give them the map, and they're good to go.
We have several important bird areas here. They call them IBAs, I guess,
Right.
here in the Verde Valley, over
Yes.
at Page Springs, and then Peck's Lake area.
yeah, and that's a designation by the Audubon Society. And they have to go through several criteria in order to be given that jurisdiction. And so the one goes from Red Rock State Park down to Page Springs. That's one whole IBA, and another one is over in the Tusagoot area.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, our time is out, and it's been lovely spending time with you two ladies. And I wish you all the luck in the Verde Valley Birding Festival number 15.
Number 15.
Number 15. Thank you all for being with us today, and that's the way it is in Cottonwood.